Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you very clearly.
Okay, great. Say
Hi.
hi to my friends.
Yeah, we really have a lot of mutual friends, I suppose.
Yeah, a lot of mutual friends because we were studying together in Bishop Cotton's. How are
Yeah.
you, Annie? How are you
I'm
doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good, thank you. And first, I want to wish you a happy Ramadan to you and
Thank
your family.
thank you so much. Thank you to everyone. And happy Ramzan to everyone.
Okay. So everybody are waiting for the set of questions that I'll be asking you.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's begin. So,
Yeah.
Annie, how was your day today?
Sorry?
How was your day today?
My day was all right. So since Ramzan has approached, tonight is going to be the Chand Raat in Mumbai, and we're going to start our fasts from tomorrow. So my entire house is filled with Ramzan festivity preparations. The kitchen is loaded with stuffs. I mean, lockdown
Oh,
is still going. We are preparing things at home that we used to buy from outside. So that's becoming
okay,
a little tacky. So
okay.
yeah, house chores and stuff. So that's going on.
And a sweetheart person like you, anything is possible.
I hope so. I'm just trying my best.
Okay, so and
I guess I'll tell you one thing very honestly. I've always been a communicator. I've always spoken and I've always, loved speaking to people. I guess my hair is better now. I just don't like my hair. All right, this is better. Yeah, so I've always loved speaking to people. And I mean, in college, I was always chit chatting everywhere possible. And, I was always there with the mic. So when I joined a college in Mumbai, Emcee College, Ritambara, and we usually have festivals there, like the college festivals. So I
okay,
was then forced by my group of people to go host a college festival of our own. It was an inter-college festival.
yeah,
So it's one college festival called Crescendo.
okay,
And I pushed onto the stage like, Annie, just do it. Of
okay,
course, I was auditioned for it actually because
okay,
we were newcomers, we were the freshmen there. So we were auditioned, I was auditioned, and then the seniors were like, okay, fine, she'll do a best job or she'll do a better job. So, we'll just put her on. And that's how I started hosting my festivals. And after that, I hosted each and every festival. And that's how it just happened. I entered into the field of anchoring. I actually wanted to become a journalist. I joined mass media communication as a course to get into journalism. And I
okay.
was pathway of doing so, but then anchoring just happened. And then I discovered that it is my passion there. Uh, Something really interesting happened when I was hosting for my college crescendo. We had one of our sponsors, Studio 23, I still remember.
Okay,
This is like 10 years back, a
okay,
decade back. Yeah. So Studio 23 was sponsoring our event at that point of time. Okay. And our college festival was done, and, we had a good rapport with our sponsors and everything. So what happened was exactly after 4 months, the management got a call, and it was Studio 23 itself who wanted to know that, if I would be able to host their company's corporate event. So the
oh, okay,
management, they actually passed on the numbers, and I came into contact with him. He was Mr. Jignesh. And Mr. Jignesh was like, I was a sponsor in your Crescendo College, and I saw you hosting at that point of time. And I was all shunned because I had no experience. So I was like,
mm-hmm.
Jignesh, I don't have an experience, and I've never hosted a corporate event. Let be any event. College festival was my first ever festival that I actually hosted, you can say that. So he was like, no problem. I know you will get through this. I have full confidence. And he arranged a meeting with his superiors and his managers and bosses. And I was called and I was auditioned again in front of them. It was a very simple audition. They just asked me to read a script. So I read the script, and they were like, okay, fine, we are cool with her. we are fine with her, and it would be a 2-day event. And that was my first ever corporate event, like first ever corporate event, 2 days event in Sahara Star. It was a
Wow.
pure legit a corporate gig, and I hosted for the very first time, and that's how I entered into the anchoring field. And I
And
still
that
initially
was in,
even
the first one was in Sahara.
yeah, it was in Sahara Star in Mumbai itself. It was a 2-day event,
2 day
and
event.
yeah, and then I figured out, I was into this line. I love talking.
Okay. So, when I started admiring you is when you won Miss Cottonian in Bishop Cotton's when we were studying. I was like, oh my God, this girl is so nicely tackle things. And
Oh,
you can reach heights.
I, I,
So,
I can, I can recall those things out there.
yeah, exactly. It was nice. I think even Shirley was there.
Yeah,
Do you remember?
Shirley was there.
Yeah, Shirley was
Asma was there.
as
Javed, she was,
yeah,
and
yeah,
Zara was also there.
yeah,
Shruti was,
exactly.
she was one of the contestants.
Yes, yes. And after that, the next year you even won what commerce rep. You were our commerce rep.
Uh, there's the university commerce rep by elections, and I was like, oh my god. Yeah.
Okay, now start with the questions. Okay.
Hmm.
So the question number one. So when did you start your journey of hosting? I mean, what is the year, your
It was
journey
in
of?
bachelor's. It was in my bachelor's. I was doing bachelor's of mass media from Emcee. And
Okay,
first year itself, I got into hosting Crescendo.
okay,
And
okay,
after that, after 4 months probably, I did my first gig, which I just told you all about it. So that
okay,
was the year I started with my career. Yeah.
okay. So that was your bachelor's. You were still in college, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Did other girls were they jealous about you? And
Julie, at that point of time, anchoring was not very popular or known. It was like ages back, and anchoring wasn't even considered as a profession in those days. So they were
okay,
very new concept that what is anchoring or what is Annie getting into it. In fact, they have always encouraged me. I remember all my classmates, my girls, my boys, everyone, the teachers, the faculty. I don't think I've ever got discouraged by anyone. They've always encouraged me to go up the stage and talk. And I probably used to save their ass also because, things would just come on them. So I would be the first one. So they would just push me, no, no, Annie, just go and speak. So
okay,
it happened. So there was no jealousy around me. There was a lot of encouragement. There was a lot of help. Mashallah, say I've always been blessed with people around me who really support me. And that time also I had people who supported me.
okay. And I would like to ask a personal question. Like, okay, to deal with people, what are the different characters which we should have? For
Patience.
example, patience. Okay,
Before you finish your question, patience.
patience. Okay. What
Yeah.
else? Do you think something else? Being nice, being joyful also helps, right?
Yeah, see, being nice and being joyful is one mandatory characteristic when you meet someone outside your house. You would not
Okay.
show them to your. I mean, if you're suffering from a bad day, if you're having a bad day and your mood is really off, so you would not want to show that mood swing to the person who's outside. I mean, that's actually bad manners as well. So we as humans are automatically trained in a manner that we try to put up a face, we put a facade, we wear a mask, you know.
Mm,
But
mm.
when I said patience was also because that's the most important criteria. Because when you're putting a facade, also when you're wearing a mask, also false mask, you still need to have patience at that point of time. You know,
Mm.
pull
Yeah,
that face off.
pull
So
that
patience
face.
very very important, because see, joyful, you're anyways going to be joyful, you're anyways going to be nice, because you're meeting those people for the first time, for the second time, and for the well you're not going to stay with them, so they are like on a transit mode with you, like a hi bye. So you would be very nice to them any which ways. But patience is something that to pull that off, you need to have patience. I
And
feel
that you
patience is important.
and that's like a gift which you have.
I hope I've practiced that well. In anchoring, of course, you learn a lot of patience. You genuinely, technically learn a lot of patience. I mean, Julie, you have also hosted a lot of shows, and you must, I'm sure you must be knowing what I'm talking about when we say anchors do have patience. You know,
Yes, yes. They have how they succeed. That's the key to their success.
of course. And
Yeah.
it's like when you're working somewhere, you have a boss whom you meet, whom you communicate, and whom you talk
Yeah.
to every day. So your boss doesn't change. But for us, like anchors, our bosses changes with every each event. So we are
Yes.
meeting different personalities every each event with each expectations, different calibers, different mentality, mindset. There's too much to take for as an anchor.
Mm-hmm. I understand. Okay, so next question is, what is your initial struggles as an anchor?
Initial struggles were, as I said, at that point of time, anchoring was not into a boom like how it is now.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows anchoring as a profession or a subject. At that point of time, people were really unaware. So one struggle was to basically bring out my personality in front of the audience or in front of the world that I'm an anchor and I
Okay.
do this job.
Mm-hmm.
People were not aware of what anchoring was.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Now Google, YouTube, digitalization has taken such a big skip that anything happens and we want to figure out something, we go on Google, we YouTube something, we figure out things. And that
Yeah.
point of time, it was kind of a laid back system. So I had to tell them who I am or what my talent is. And
Mm-hmm.
second struggle definitely was, in those days, anchoring again was taken as someone from the TV industry who's supposed to be a model, who's supposed to be tall, fair, and
Yeah.
having those power vitals, and that was the kind of a mental, I would say, lockdown was there
Yeah.
in those times, which now has changed definitely. So I have at that point of time phase that they wanted anchors who were models, and I wasn't a model. I wasn't tall like a model, uh, or a fair model, or probably I had curly hair back then, so they
Yeah.
didn't want it curly hair. So I have faced a lot of prejudices according to that. But now, mashallah, say touch wood, and I wanted to bring this difference in the events industry, at least in my circle, that we are anchors and we are meant to talk, we are meant to communicate. We do not want to be eye candies because that's not our job. I am not saying don't be presentable. Of course, we need to be presentable, but the most important thing is to talk. I mean, passing on the message of what the event is about to the audience. So I wanted to focus on communication. That a job of an anchor is to communicate well, not to just be there as a mannequin or a statue. I still face some clients who still call me up, and when the event is fixed, they would ask me to wear short clothes or skin showing clothes. I still have clients,
Mm-hmm.
even telling me on face, like that. Uh, and the best part now is that I tell them, I'm sorry, I'm not comfortable. I will not be wearing that. I will wear a gown where I'm comfortable with.
Yeah,
You
that's a
know?
hat. Seriously, a
Yeah.
hat.
So I have kind of maintained that and I've stuck onto it. And it's about comfortability. If I'm not comfortable, how am I going to perform, Julie? I mean, isn't that like
Yeah, yeah, exactly. How we are going to perform. That's a brilliant answer, Annie. So let us
thank you.
go to the next question. So, what do you think, according to you, are basic skills of public speaking?
Public speaking, basic skills.
Very basic.
See, the first thing is to basically, one thing is confidence, you
Okay.
know, to be there. And that's the most basic skill. Most of the time, I've got DMs from a lot of people of mine, from a lot of students of mine, young anchors, new beginners. they have always come and asked me this question that how do we get confidence? I get too scared to speak in front
Hmm.
of the camera or in front of the people whatsoever. And I just tell them one thing, that we are not mad. Like, we have not come out from asylum, right? So whatever we're going to talk has to, has to make sense. It
Yes.
doesn't make sense if you say that I'm scared, I might not make sense. How can you not make sense? I mean, you are a well known, educated person, you are pretty stable, so you know what you're talking.
Hmm.
So you
Hmm.
make sense. So this kind of a fear, people need to cut it out from their head. And that's when confidence creeps in, when you know what you're talking,
Hmm.
you know.
Okay. So,
Knowledge, and you need to be wise, need to be thorough with your facts and figures. Of course, I'm not saying that's not something that has to be neglected, but confidence and believe that what you will say will make sense is the most basic skill of a communicator, I
oh,
feel.
okay, that's great. I think that's when you don't fear when you talk in
Yeah,
the mic.
exactly.
Oh, what you're talking, you know what to talk next. It's in your tip
Exactly.
of your. So,
Yeah, yeah.
so
there's
do you?
there's a continuous process which is going on from my head to the tongue, like this is my next sentence. And if in between there's a hustle, if someone has interrupted in between, then you actually very spontaneously you start building up your sentences around them to be
Oh,
a part of the tempo also. So that's one of the skills as well.
okay, okay. Thank you. So let's go to the next question. So everybody wants to know how many events have you done till date?
I haven't counted, Julie, but I will say, Alhamdulillah, 3,000 by now so far.
Wow.
I have so many events so far. I do all kind of events. I've done all kind of events except for exhibitions and mall activities. So skipping the two genres in the event industry, I've done the rest, and yeah, pretty much.
You've done for Sahara TV, for ICICI Bank,
Yes,
uh,
yes.
of I think builders,
Build
right?
estates. Yes, I have done it for real estates as well. I've done it for corporate shipping companies, bank and investment companies, schools and NGOs, and investment associations also. So I've done pretty lot of them.
Oh, that's great. That's wonderful. So that's great. That's wonderful. So okay, now let's go to the other question. So as a woman, how do you feel having an audience of 1,000? Have you missed your lines ever?
Yes, I have. I have. I've
Okay,
missed my lines tons of times.
okay,
Uh,
okay.
how do I feel as a woman when I stand in front of a lot of audience? I'll just give one incident that just came to my mind hearing the question. Okay. Um, it was Ramzan, and I never used to miss my events during Ramzan.
Okay.
Saying that, I never missed my fasting also during Ramzan. So I used to fast while I was at work.
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
I would always tell my event vendors to keep something handy, a water or anything, during the time of the iftar. That is when you open the fast, and
Okay.
they would do. So I remember it was Ramzan, and I had a full day event, and it was a shipping company, and I finished my gig was done. I
Hmm.
opened my fast, just going backstage quickly. If I mean, I did the iftar, I opened my fast and I ran back on the stage, and I finished it all. And then later the event guys, they usually come at the end of the event or of the show, and they come and tell you, thank you so much, and this is the event agency, we would like to thank the anchor and etc. So that event guy came on the stage and he thanked me, and he told everyone that, a special thank goes to her because she's fasting today, and in spite of she fasting, she was here and she conducted the gig so well. And Julie, everyone, it was not asked for, but everyone there gave a standing ovation to me. And that
Wow.
was the respect that I was earning for, I
Yeah.
didn't need it
Yeah.
money. I didn't need it anything. I just wanted that respect to come out, and that came out so beautifully. And that's what I feel when I'm walking and I'm talking in front of so many people, that my respect should be there as an anchor.
Mm,
Yeah, that's the
mm.
most important thing that I really figured out. I really want that to happen, and it happens. So that's how I feel. Of course, not all events are very godly. You do have a lot of events which gives you a lot of tension and pressure, but you learn to deal with them. And about the second part of your question, have I missed my lines? Of course, I've missed my lines. I do learn my scripts, and I do my R&D before a day of the event. I do figure out the facts and figures of the company, the event, and I prepare myself well enough that if there's any hiccups in between, I try to cover them
Mm.
up. So I have dealt with these hiccups in my events. I've forgotten lines. I've made up my lines. I've made up shero shairi on spot. I've made up paragraphs on spot. So I've done all of that, and now I'm okay with it. Now I'm like sailing through it. It's like that.
Okay. So now, since I'm a fashion consultant, I've finished in fashion, as you know, I told you before. So
Yeah.
now let's go into a little bit into fashion. So my next question is your best attire for a host in a corporate event. What do you
Best.
think is
See, first of all, it's a very cliche answer, but that it really makes sense, and that is why it's cliche. It's of course comfortability. All right.
okay?
Uh, the second, I feel, see, if you're comfortable in a corporate skirt, you can go with
Mm,
that. But if you're
okay,
comfortable with a corporate pant, a blazer, you can go
okay.
with that. A one piece, you can go with that.
Mm,
I
mm,
just know that, of course, when it's corporate event, and that also differs. If it's a corporate event in the morning, then you go with formal, you go with
okay,
light color, you go with checks probably, and you
okay.
go for sort of more of a corporate-ish look on it. So you
Mm,
actually self up around an office look, like you're going to an office. And if it's an evening event, and if the event agenda requires you to wear a gown, then you wear a
okay,
gown. Now, in
okay,
that, also, you figure out what kind of a gown. If it's a big corporate company, so your gown needs to be elegant, having royal blue colors, you're adorned
okay.
with diamonds, pearls, probably, having
Mm,
straight hair, you know. But
mm,
if it's a corporate night, just a moment. If it's a corporate event, in the night where there's these award segments going on, then you probably go with bright colors, curly locks, a tingy
okay.
tangy
Mm,
jewels around. So you actually differentiate your wardrobe according to it. That's what I do.
okay.
I play
What
a
did you?
lot.
Okay, okay. So, what did you wear for the Indian Army event which you hosted?
Yeah. So the Indian Army event, I've hosted three of them. You're talking about the Navy one? The
Yeah, yeah, everyone.
the
Yes,
Navy.
exactly.
Yeah. All right. So I hosted the Navy one, and it was an evening event. Okay.
Okay. Mm,
And there they had a requirement that they wanted me to wear an evening gown.
okay.
And
Mm,
they told me, since the people of our Indian Army, Indian Navy, and the families of them, because we were having families as guests also, these families are hardcore lovers of Bollywood. They love Bollywood, you know.
okay.
So
Mm,
the theme was also Bollywood. We had kept some games around Bollywood, and so they wanted me to dress up a little more in a glam quotient, you know.
okay.
I
Mm-hmm.
chose a purple dress, a purple dress which had all flowers adorned here. It was a little glamorous, but since it was a
Mm,
plain, didn't had any sequins or glitter on it, so I
mm, mm.
went long earrings. I went with long earrings,
Okay.
white earrings, and I curled my hair up, and I did
Okay.
heavy, like heavy eye makeup.
Eye
So
makeup.
yeah, I did that. I mean, if my dress was a little more shinier, then I guess I would have gone a little low on my facial makeup. But my dress was plain, and they wanted a
Okay.
Bollywood, so I had to go with heavy eye makeup. Those big eyelashes, smoky eyes, dark lipstick, blush on, a heavy base, all of
So
that.
it's better to put heavy makeup on a plain classy gown, right?
Yeah, perfect. I feel that
So
way. Yeah.
the shimmery kind of a gown, which is a lot of work on it, then you go light, it's
I
better.
Yes, I go light on that. I go a little more of silky hair. I keep my this part a little more straight enough. If I'm trying to showcase, if for an example, if I'm trying to showcase my face, as in
Hmm,
my makeup,
hmm.
then it's okay if your hair and your clothes are plain, and right the
Okay.
opposite. If my dress is
Hmm,
very heavy, then I go light on my hair and my makeup. So I
hmm,
play
hmm.
opposite direction, that way.
Okay. So we have like 10 more minutes in our. Okay.
Yeah.
So I, I couldn't realize how time just flew. It's
Right.
nice. Yeah. So the next question is, what colors do you think suits on a stage? Like when you wear the attire,
Bright
what color?
colors.
Okay. So
Bright,
can
I
you
think
name?
bright colors, red is a good combination.
Okay.
Fluorescent purple, not the
Okay.
darker shade.
Hmm, hmm,
Uh,
hmm.
of course, white goes very well. And I feel if you can carry a yellow gown, then yeah, good. A yellow gown, of course. And of course, Julie, black is black.
Yeah,
I mean,
black is.
I don't want to defend on black.
Yeah,
Yeah,
black is the.
black is black.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, okay. And yeah, then I would like to ask you. I've seen you wearing 3 inches. I think more than that heels
Four and a half.
for your events. I've always wanted to ask you, like, how do you stand for so long with these high heels?
Yeah. So first advice, because I've dealt with it, you don't really have to give pain to your legs and your knees and your ankles,
Okay.
because I've got problems and my knee started paining at some point of time. I couldn't take heels at all. So then I
Mm.
was advised by the doctor to leave heels ASAP, not to just
Oh.
wear them completely.
Mm,
So,
mm.
and then this has not happened with me. It's happened with a lot of other anchors. I have a friend, but she's pretty tall, so she could manage wearing sneakers on events. But she was tall.
Okay.
I could wear sneakers, you know.
Yeah.
So what I would do is I now carry my long heels in a bag. I wear my normal ballerinas or my sandals, and the moment I'm about to step on the stage, I change them. I get on my long heels, and the moment
Oh,
I am on stage, I remove it.
oh, you remove it. Okay. Okay.
So that's
So,
the
time
precaution.
on a stage?
Yeah. Sorry.
How much time do you stand on a stage?
4 hours, 8 hours, seven
Uh,
hours. Yeah. So your legs, my leg pains. I mean, itna dard hota hai. It pains so badly the other day, and I then soak them up in salt water. I give them a little bit of massage and pedicure. I mean, it does pain a lot, but there's a technique to it. You basically have to wear a thread that actually holds your bigger toe, and you tie them up. So that what
oh,
happens is the nerve that doesn't get pulled when you're wearing heels.
okay.
So I
Mm.
used to tape them up, tape my toes up, and then I used to wear my stilettos. So yeah.
Oh, God.
And one more thing you can wear. I mean, don't go for really pointed ones. You can go for
Okay.
block heels.
Block heels. Okay.
For block heels, wedges, because they have a platform. So then that gives you a support.
Hmm.
The ones that you say is pumps, which are really pointed, they
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
actually very difficult because your entire ankle is bent and your foot is like this, like
Okay.
literally like. But if you're wearing a block heel, if there's some base and support here, so your feet is actually lifted, so your ankle, the bending of the ankle is reduced. So I've
Okay.
done these research when my legs started giving up, and then I changed my shoe collection,
Took.
and yeah, I had to.
Okay. So, okay, one another personal question. How many gowns do you have? in your wardrobe?
I have two suitcases, and they're like humongous suitcase, like big suitcases, because
Yeah.
I couldn't fit them in my wardrobe. So I had to dump them in a suitcase. So I have two huge suitcases full of gowns,
Okay.
and I'm trying to resell them. You know, if any
Yeah.
who wants to take it, you can please DM me. I'll send you pictures of the gowns because how much more?
Exactly. So,
Yeah,
like to say to the young girls out there who are really short and who wants to anchor.
yeah. I want to say that you don't have to really think that your height is the only criteria for you to be an anchor. There are other
Hmm.
things that make you an anchor as well. I mean, just an example, if you're not able to control the crowd and not interact with them, and you're like 5'9" and 5'10", what's the point?
Yeah, exactly. Mm.
You know?
But don't you think people, you know, companies, they don't want short girls? I faced that personally.
So in that point of time, see, because even I have faced that, and I've had event guys asking me कि हम podium के नीचे do you want a break so that you can stand on that break and face the podium. I've had those event guys as well, but what counts and makes you different is the way you talk.
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
the client's demand. If the client demands you, then there's no criteria that befalls over you. I mean, that's where I wanted to really, really polish my skills because
Okay.
I knew that my height is this. I am like this. I'm no model probably,
Hmm.
and I'm a healthy girl. I'm not like slim trim kind of a girl. So why not just polish a skill that is very much required in this industry? And that skill was me talking. So I polished on that skill, and now I get clients who want this skill.
Who
They don't
wants?
want my height, they don't want my body. I mean, whatsoever. You know,
Hmm.
they want me talking, and
Okay.
that's where you have a win-win situation. You know?
Hmm. 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 So one last question. So,
Yeah.
Annie, how long did you take to polish your own skill of talking? How long did you take? How many years did you take?
See, it would be very hard to say in a number that it took me 4 or 5 or 3 years because I'm still learning. You know, you don't stop learning how much experienced you are or how far you've gone into your industry, such. So I'm still learning. But if you can say that I made a major big jump was only because of the number of events I did. So the
Hmm.
more number of events I did, the more experience I got and the more handy I become with dealing with crisis management on during the show.
Okay.
So every event taught me something or the other that polished my skill, but it would be very difficult to say that what taught it. I mean, how did it happen? It just happened. I was always on the go. I was always learning. I kept watching videos of other anchors, some things that I lacked in, so I tried to polish them up, you know.
Hmm.
So it's still an ongoing process. It's still an ongoing process.
Okay, okay. And one last thing is the feeling you get when you stand on stage with the spotlights is amazing, right?
Okay, attention seeker probably. So you're the center of attention.
Yeah.
You feel good.
Yeah.
You feel real good. And then the pressure sinks in that you have to perform best.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
you have to perform best. So it's a mixture of both, keeping the pressure and having feeling good. Wow, everyone's looking at you, everyone's waiting for you for something or the other, some action from your end. And they're going to obey you, they're going to listen to you, and then they come and tell you that you were good. That's very nice. That's something I really like about that. You are filled with appreciation, with bags of applause, and they come and tell you that you were so good on the stage, so nice, so sweet, etc. So that is a very good feeling. And then you feel that whatever pressure I had on the stage, it was worth it.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, to end it, I mean, I think some of my friends and your friends would like to ask questions to you. Let's give it 5 minutes for it. Let's see if there are any good questions.
Sure. Hi, hi.
This
I
is just
guess the
hi.
question from Prameet
Okay.
0703. He says, "Who do you look up to when it comes to anchoring?" All right. Who do I look up to? Oh, we have Shweta Jain. Hi.
Shweta, there.
Yeah. Good to see you too. All right. So, question to 07. What's his name? I forgot. 07.
Premier.
0. Yeah. Who do I look up to when it comes to anchoring? Firstly, I have learned basic communication skills and confidence from my mom. She's a very good and excellent orator. And when it comes to professionalism, a professional anchoring, then I look up to Geetika Ganjudhar. She's a very famous anchor. Most of the anchors would be knowing her. She's a Mumbai-based anchor, and experienced and very lively and very natural. The one thing that I really like about her is natural. She's so natural with it. So I look up to her when it comes to anchoring, and definitely I've seen so many videos of her and I've polished my skills. So probably she takes the credit. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if there are questions. I think Sweta Jain told hi to us, right?
Yeah. Great. We've had a number of people. Anu is anyways jovial by default. Thank you. So do we have questions here?
I don't think so.
All right.
So, okay, let me end it. A last question from my side.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, to all the men and all the women, girls, boys out there, just
I
tell
have got
them.
yeah, babe. I've got another question here. Do you want me to take that?
Yeah, yeah, take it, take it.
Yeah. So it's from Nikita. She was one of my student. Any specific
Okay.
skincare routine during lockdown? Yes. Ghar ka saman. Match. You have everything in the house, right from curd, honey, haldi. I have rose powder, so I mix that with rose powder. And rice flour. That's very nice. You can even use that. And basin, multani mitti, all natural stuffs. Just mind them up and apply it. And of course, drink lots and lots of water. I'm drinking a lot of water because you're not going out, you're not catching much up with vitamin D and other vitamins, however. But you can still keep yourself hydrated and drink a lot of water, a lot of fluids. Yeah.
I think we have another question from Letitia. What was the most creative line or something you cooked up when there was a delay in the event? I
The
think,
most the most creative line was, I was like, wow, I can see a lot of beautiful ladies and handsome men here. Ma'am, you're looking so beautiful. Please, could you tell us what are you wearing? And then they would start talking. So, I would talk to them.
yeah,
Yeah. All
I think
right.
that, I guess. Or do we have more questions? No, no, there is one more from Nikita.
Okay. Do you miss anchoring during the lockdown? Yes, of course, we do. And I really doubt that events are going to spur up again soon after the lockdown ends, also because the market has really been very badly affected. We have, as an event industry, faced a lot of losses. To cover them up, it's going to take time, of course. So we still have to wait. And we still need to figure out how things can happen now in the anchoring field, because everything now plays around the rotation of income, rotation of money. The economics has just moved upside down because of the lockdown, and so the event industry has badly been affected. So as anchors, of course, we do miss working, but We really need to have patience again, patience, and wait for things to come up for us, you know.
Any more questions? Anybody? I
I don't
think.
think so. Yeah.
I don't think so. I think we should wait for 10 more seconds. So many hearts are seen.
Do you had any question,
Yes,
Julie?
yes. The last question I would like to ask is, what would you like to tell to all those aspiring men and women and girls and boys out there who wants to become a
Anchor.
public host and anchor out there?
I would say that because now the competition has risen up, there's a lot of competition in the market, and there's genuine competition in the market. You know, there are a lot of beautiful people who are doing beautifully well with their anchoring. So,
Mm,
uh, one thing that I would advise them is that if you're getting into this industry, please do not see the jazz, the glam quotient, the spotlight. You know, don't see the exterior of it and get into it. If you really have passion for talking, then get into the industry. If you really have passion for communication, for anchoring, then get into this field or be an anchor as a profession. But if you're getting because you have to wear good clothes, you have to do makeup, you have to get ready, travel, you know, you need roam places out. Is if that's the reason that you want to be an anchor and you're getting into the industry, then you better buck up and pull up your socks, because there's genuine competition and you're going to find it hard, really. And if you really have a true enthusiasm for it, then go for it. Then the space is yours, and I feel those who are passionate can bring it up to them. I mean, then they don't need any advices.
mm, mm.
Yeah. Thank you, Divyanshi. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I think we should end it.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
49, and I think if you end it now, we could save this life.
Yes, yes, yes. So we probably can end it now. I have just one last question from
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
Vin. Do you want me to go for it?
yes, yes,
How do
yes.
you how do you
No,
manage to get hours to catch flight? Don't ask. Without sleep, and how you look fresh on stage. Because I sleep in the plane and on the aircraft and sleeping. That's when I catch my sleep. I hate morning flights, trust me, because for morning flights you have to leave 2 hours prior, and you have to catch the flight and do a check-in. So your entire sleep just erupts and you are really very disturbed. But once I'm back home the other day, I sleep. I sleep like I've sold my horses up, and I sleep for a pretty long time. So I catch it with my sleep. So yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah. I guess then you have to end the conversation here.
Yes, I have to end the conversation. I think some people wants to know what we can do in lockdown to improve our public, I mean, our speaking skills, our communication skills. What do you think we can do in lockdown? Do you know
Uh,
any course which we
See,
can
there's no
take?
see, abhi filhal online courses. There are a lot of online courses. Okay, but if you don't want to go for a paid course, all you can do is read aloud, stand in front of the mirror, and take up a
Okay.
scene and improvise.
Hmm.
And aloud, read a script, standing in front of the mirror. Or
Hmm.
you can, when you're doing that, you can record yourself and listen to your own voice after it, and figure out where you're lacking, what mistakes you're doing, how's your pronunciation,
Hmm.
which work
Hmm.
went wrong. You can check on that. And the last is what I feel is the language that you want to improve in. Watch tons of movies and read books on that language. you know
Okay. Hmm.
so that really, really helps if you're watching movies of the language that you want to really pull up your socks in. So watch a lot of movies, because that really helps. Content. Watch any kind of movies,
Hmm.
serials, documentaries, web series, anything. It just has to be content, because once you listen, once you see the visualization, that it has so much of power that you subconsciously um, figure things out and you learn a new language.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
My
Okay.
voice is quite horrible when I record. So you have to practice some mouth exercises, vocal exercises, which is available on YouTube. You just have to type vocal exercises and follow the steps. That makes your voice a little more softer, a little more deepen, and then you can, again record your voice and see what's the difference coming. Yeah.
Mhm. That's nice. I think these learning public speaking does not help us to be an anchor, but when you face an interview, when you talk, it
Anything. Yeah, it helps everywhere. Totally, totally.
it helps in every aspects of life. When you go international, when you talk to someone you don't know, it helps
Whether
everywhere.
whether you're making a personal relationship or a professional relationship, communication is really very important.